In this video, I will show you how to put together this 3D beer glass box, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So this is an updated video. This design was originally designed in this beer. I'll show you a little sample because we're going to use this to show you how to put the panels on, the optional panels. So this was created, this is a little St. Patrick one, in 2017, and in 2025 I decided to update the video and the file a little bit so the tabs are different. Essentially it goes together similarly, but this is a little bit more refined. I updated the project, so if you do own it, you can go ahead and download the newest video, and not the newest video, the newest SVG file from my account from Simply Crafty SVGs. So first thing we're going to do is put together the glass portion like this. So right here. So we're going to go ahead, they do have panels, optional panels that you can cut out. I would not put the panels on first, only because of the way we curl this. You want to put them on second, and that's what I'll demonstrate that later, or after we get this together. So this is pretty repetitive. This is 10-sided, so it's something that I typically don't do today. I probably go as much as 8-sided normally. Only just because as you go around, it gets a little tedious, but it'll get a more rounded look. So that's what we're going to do. But before you do that, you want to fold them and curl them the way you see like this. So I'm going to demonstrate. I already did 8 of them. So here's how they cut out. And I am using the dashed cut line, score lines, perforated, or a lot of people refer to them perforated. So I'm just going to use my fingers to curl it. Go like this, and then fold all the tabs. So if you want to pre-do all that, and when I say curl it, watch, don't get a paper cut. Looks like I just got a paper cut. It's just curling at the top a little bit. So here's another one. I'm just kind of burnishing it with my fingertips to get a curl like that. I'll just fold it down like this. So the original video, I wanted to redo the file a little bit, so that's why I'm redoing the video. And the original video was one of my earlier videos, so it wasn't as clear as I would like it to be. So we have all the other pieces over here, but we're just going to focus on this first. So once you have these all curled and folded, I'm going to be using Barely Art Glue in this video. Take one piece, and you can do 1 or 2 tabs, but I'm going to start with 1. We're going to go ahead and just anchor the top tab. So you want it lined up right here, and lined up, this edge lined up with that fold. So you could always use as you fold it, you don't want this to kind of go up much further. So once you anchor it, so if you're familiar with this process, you can of course bypass this part of the video, but it's all repetitive, all 10 sides. It gets a little bit more difficult to put that last on. Anyways, once you get the first one anchored, we can go ahead and add glue to a couple of the tabs, and it's whatever your comfort zone is, but we're going to go from the top down. You can always try the bottom up too, just as long as you're consistent. I do at the top because you're going to see more flaws at the top than you will at the bottom, even if you're off a little bit. So you can see I'm just lining this up. I always use my thumb to make sure that this edge is not far above this folded line. Try to line it up as best I can. And if you're wondering the color, this is a Beehive from Encore, which is from 12 by 12 cardstock. I think a similar, it's getting harder to get American Crafts paper, which I normally use exclusively. But these days, I have a large stock, but this is similar to, I believe, Sunflower, but American Crafts. It reminded me kind of a beer color. So I'm just going to continue gluing down. So you can see inside, that's what it looks like inside. Then I'm just gonna keep on going, and if I have a little damp cloth here, that So just making sure it's lined up before I really put pressure on it. So that's 1 of 10. So I'll do another one. I'll do just one more on when I'm talking, and then the rest of it I'll just let you watch with some soft, soothing music. I'm just joking. You know, it's going to go a little bit faster because it's all repetitive. So if you need to pause it or forward through, you can. So I'm going to do the first one first to anchor it, and then I put glue on both of them. So it's all your comfort level. Everything has to do with your comfort level. But always start with the top, lining it up. And inevitably one's going to be slightly off, and I wouldn't worry about it unless you're like perfect. But I don't think anybody's like truly perfect. I don't know. You could be the one out there. I don't know. It's hard to get everything perfect with a paper, but paper is forgiving. It's a nice thing about it. So I'm just going to continue lining up. You see I've added glue to more tabs than I did before because I kind of know how long it takes me to do it. So after you do a couple, you kind of know. After you've done about 5 or 6 for test boxes, you kind of know. So the things that have slightly changed with these, if anybody's wondering, is are the tabs. The tabs are optimized, in my opinion. They're better. They're more in line with what I would do today. As well as the lid was a little, I used a different, not the same designing software when I created it. And there were some things that were not quite as precise as I'd like. Probably wasn't noticeable to anybody else, but in the file I could tell the measurements were off just a smidgen. I'm a little bit more accurate with that now. So we're going to go ahead and continue putting these on. I'll stop to slow down to talk when it comes to gluing it all together. Just make sure that you just get up to 10, and then when it comes to closing it, I'll show you. It's not a huge trick, but it can be a little tricky at the end. So here we go. Let's go ahead and finish these. So I'm just coming back here to show you how we're going to close it up. So I'm just working on this last tab, and I went and got a little wooden chopstick here to help us with the last step, just because it's hard to reach in to hold the tabs. So as you can notice, we're doing the tabs from the side. So before you go on, I always do this now, You want to count the panels, make sure there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The reason is I have made this with 9 before because I dropped one and didn't know it. So make sure you have 10 attached. So now we're going to go ahead and glue it like this. So you'll notice you can be able to reach in about right here. But we're going to use and we can reach in to the bottom right there. But for the rest of it, we're going to use this little chopstick to reach in to help us. You can probably get in fairly far right here with your hand. But if you have a chunky hand like I do, or just larger hand, it might be easier to use something like just a wooden dowel or plastic, something long. It could be a pen, or just make sure the pen's not open, or, you know, like I said, you could draw on the inside, I suppose. But I'm going to put glue on all the tabs. Probably wasn't the best here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it under. Start at the top. Oops. Got a little glue there. You can still anchor it. That first piece right there. We're going to go down to the second. So you want to go down as far as you can, and I'm just scooching it in lightly. I'm going to go at the bottom. If you can get your fingers in to do that next one. But now I'm going to line up the bottom. And then like that. So I can reach in there. But when it comes to these are questionable. I can get part of them, but not all. I think I can get this top one. Let me see if I can get that top one. We're going to kind of squeeze it in and line it up best you can. And I'm just having a hard time reaching it in. So we're just going to go all the way in. Line those up. I think I can just reach them with my finger. But if you need a tool, you can. If you can use your finger, it's always better because they're the best tools we have here. I'm kind of squeezing it to get it lined up to the edge. There we go. I'm kind of stuck. There we go. So it's a little bit off, but I can see that there's a tab still up, so I'm just going to reach in and see if I can get it. So I may have to add a little bit more glue. No, it's not the full tab, it's just the bottom tab. I didn't push it all the way up. So that puts all the sides on. So at this point, you could add the side panels if you wanted, so you could reach in on both sides. I'm going to show you, if you have the bottom on, that basically the panels would go on. I have one panel here to demonstrate. I'm not going to glue it on there. But you still want to curl it at the top. So it should be kind of like that. It's only curled at the top. So you see it's offset a little bit. So what I would do is, it doesn't matter, just do it consistently. Either start at the bottom or the top, and then just glue it part way down, and then get the rest of it. And then you can reach in and apply pressure like that. Okay, so we're going to do it on a full one that's already has a bottom piece on it. But I would suggest it at this point if you're going to put panels on. In the original, I did put just the same color panels on when I originally did this, but it's fine without it, so I'm going to make it without it in this one right now. But put the panels on. So I'm going to line it up with the top because I can see that I have them all similar. So I would just do part way. So whatever the first panel you do is going to dictate the rest of them. So you want to center them in that bigger panel. So this is slightly smaller than the sides. And I would pull it down. I only have glue on like half of it, but I'm pulling it down so you can see how it centers. So the difference here is that I have the bottom on. So if you don't have the bottom piece on, it makes it much easier. I'm just making sure it's still centered horizontally. And then you could reach in and apply pressure. So you could put it on at the very end like this too, but I just think it's easier when it's open. So that's for the panels. So we'll go back to put the bottom on the box. So I have a little glue on my fingertips. It's always nice. I kind of use this little damp towel for getting glue off the edges and also on my fingertips sometimes. So this, we have two bottom panels. One's for the inside, one's for the outside. If you just wanted to put one, you could go ahead and glue it on the outside and then fold down. But I feel with a 10-sided, the reason I did that with a 10-sided polygon like this, it makes life harder to line up those things. So thus two of these. I did do something a little bit different than I normally do, which lately I've been making a little hole in the center to do those, but this one I didn't. Believe it or not, I made this in 2017 and then designed it originally. Then I started redoing the design in 2023, but because of circumstances, I always got pushed to the back burner because I've had a lot going on for the last 2 years. So I was always focused on new designs, but I always wanted to redo this one. So I'm just going to flip them down. I have glue on all these tabs, so I'm going to add glue to all these tabs after I have it pushed in. And then I'm just going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to use this, so get something long, to apply pressure to the tabs inside. So I'm going around the edges, making sure, trying not to get in the camera, so I'm kind of watching the camera as I doing it. And you might be able to reach in, but I can't, to apply pressure. So you could reach in and apply pressure this way. So I'm trying not to get my head in the shot. I'm using the blunt side to apply pressure. I may not put enough glue on it either. This will help it to hold a little bit more if you want to add like a heavier gift. So glued it down. Now I'm just going to add that other panel to hide these tabs. So a lot of people might just want to just glue that one tab and not care about the inside tab, and that's quite okay as well. So I'm just going to line this up. And just rub it. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of functionally just hiding the bottom tabs. Just want to have the edges where they need to be. And again, you could go inside and apply pressure to the bottom. So we'll move on to the lid and we'll finish this up. So now we have the lid pieces. So we're going to go ahead, and I would suggest you, I numbered them as they came off so left to right. I numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the back of them. And I did emboss them, and then I embossed them within a dots embossing folder. And this will help it to put it on. But if they do get mixed and you don't do that, then you can pretty much line them up and find out which ones are which. So this is right there, so that's number 3. And this is number 2, so it's doable. But I do think it gives a little dimension. So, but I do have them numbered. So we're going to go ahead and start with number 1. So we're just going to add them while it's flat, but you want to pre-fold all these to make it easier. But we're just going to go ahead and add these panels while it's flat. Just makes it so much easier. And I did use any dot. There's a bunch of dot embossing folders out there if you have them, and if you have never used embossing folders, I like them for dimension. I think a lot of people have, but they're just little folders that you put the paper in between after you cut it, or it just depends what you're using it for. And you can see how it's just fitting right in there. And when you sandwich it in between, it creates a little embossed pattern. So it's de-embossed on one side and embossed on the other side, raised up. So I love them. There's so many out there. Dots is one of the most common ones, I would say. Or something like dots. There's lots of them out there. But it's a fun tool. And how you use it is you sandwich it in between some pads. I think that's what they're called. I'm probably saying the wrong thing. And then it creates this dimension when you roll it through a manual die cutting machine. Like I'm using a Cuttlebug, which has been discontinued, or like a Big Shot or Sizzix, Big Shot or Big Kick, which is I think is even older. But there's a bunch of manual machines out there. I think there's a Sizzix. Is it like boutique texture or something like that? Anyways, there's some that's all they do. The other die cutting machines sometimes also cut dies. So that's how that was done. And if you do like this project, I always ask if you can give me a little like or thumbs up on the video, and or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And you'll see the little bell to the right of subscribe. You'll be notified when we have new videos. Not as frequent as they used to be in 2025. Not quite sure how much longer I'll be doing this, but I'll probably do it for a little while, maybe just a lot slower than I used to. But I have quite a few videos if you've never seen them. And lots of projects to choose from as long as I'm still selling them. So I've been doing it since 2016 now. Was it 2016? Time flies when you're having fun. So after I have all these done, we're just going to go ahead, and now we have it all folded. We're just going to glue it like this. Going to line that edge up and glue the tab in underneath. See the nice effect of embossing folder. Just making sure I'm lining up that properly. It was a little bit off. You can see it glues on the inside, but I'm just lining it up on the tab fold of the other edge there. And then for this, we're just going to fold those inward and take one of these, not the one that's embossed. The emboss will go on the top. We're just going to add glue to these inside tabs. And then slide that first panel in. It just makes it easier to get that last panel on too. So I'm doing the non-textured side, so this is textured paper to non-textured because this is the inside of it now, and it glues easier too, by the way. And then I'm just kind of pushing these in as I go around and making sure that the edge fits into the inside tab fold of those top tabs, and just applying pressure as I go around. I have some dried glue on my fingertips. And you can see that's what the top looks like. We're just going to go ahead and add the last part of the glue around on the top and place that last panel. Just line that up. So just lining up all the sides here. And then I'm just going to flip it over and apply pressure. Making sure there's no glue coming out of the edges. You just want to get this good and secure before you, because it's real tight around the edges, like that. Now the box is finished. Like I said, if you want to put panels on, you could. So we're going to go ahead and place that on. So it's a nice little gift box for any occasion. I mean, for somebody who likes beer, I suppose. It's kind of fun. You could add like a gift card inside. So you can see the gift card can go inside like that. And you can see the gift card can go in like that. You can add a little gift as well. And then it's just a fun little box, a little unique box for somebody unique that likes beer or root beer, or in this case, you can see I did a little version of for St. Patrick's Day, and you can change this around. I do like this part, round part in the front, this right here. It is nicer. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, this project, and thank you so much for watching.